Hello guys, Arm Media here, back with the Mock Draft 3.0. I said it'd be out Monday, it's going to be out Tuesday. I lied. Before we get into round 2 of this mock draft, I would like to offer a bit of an alternative to round 1. I'm pretty confident with most of the things I have on here. There's two things I would suggest maybe. The first thing, I think the Panthers and Ravens could have their picks switched. The Ravens could easily take Calvin Ridley, and the Panthers could easily take Courtland Sutton. That's not the big thing. What I am here suggesting is that in my mock, I had the Bears taking Minkah Fitzpatrick. A Bears fan commented saying that the Bears didn't give up a 100-yard receiver all season. So while I'm not changing the actual video, an alternative could be the Bears take Tremaine Edmonds at number 8. The Raiders take Roquan Smith at 12. Or at 10. And then the Broncos take Minkah Fitzpatrick at 11. And then the Giants would take Derwin James at 12. Even though the Giants don't necessarily need a strong safety, Landon Collins did just recently get injured, and I don't know if they can pass up on a player like that. Either way, first rounds, it is what it is. Bears don't necessarily need Minkah Fitzpatrick, but Kyle Fuller isn't necessarily great. I don't know what they're gonna do. So let's go on. We're going to go through this relatively quicker than we did the last one. We're going out to pick 64, which is Cleveland's pick that they got from Philadelphia. So at number 33, the Browns are selecting Orlando Brown. They need a tackle now that Joe Thomas has retired. Connor Williams, Colton Miller, Mike McGlinchey are all gone. I think Orlando Brown is the next best guy. Giants at 34, I have them selecting Darius Geis. Their running backs are fine, but I think they could get much better with another offensive weapon. Darius Geis is much better than any of those guys in my opinion. At 35, the Browns, I have them selecting Dante Jackson, a corner out of LSU. He can replace, who did they just lose? Jason McCourty, or one of the McCourtys from New England. He's gone now. Dante Jackson can replace him. Dante Jackson's blazing fast. I think is a solid corner. Browns need secondary help. I think that's a good pick. 36, I have the Colts selecting Brian O'Neill, a tackle out of Pitt. He's risen up my board lately. Really like what I see from him. Colts need offensive line help as well, especially considering I have them taking Saquon in the first round. He can block for Saquon. Brian O'Neill there. I have them taking. They're also picking at 37. I have them selecting Taven Bryant, a defensive tackle out of Florida. First round guy here, but he just fell because of need. No one really needed him necessarily. Colts need a better pass rush or just defensive line in general. So I have them selecting Taven Bryant here. 38, the Buccaneers. I have them selecting Sony Michel. I don't love what the Bucs have at running back. They lost Doug Martin. So their running backs are nothing special currently. Sony Michel, I think, could at least get in there, compete. They need more offense. They could take offensive linemen here, I think. But I don't think anything necessarily looks great here for them to pick. I like Sony Michel here. 39, Chicago. I've been taking DJ Moore out of Maryland. Another first-round guy who just happened to fall because no one really needed a receiver. I really like DJ Moore, just not as much as Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, or I like his. I don't love his hands as much, but he's very dynamic. Definitely a top 5 receiver in this class, going to the Bears, who need a weapon now that they lost Cameron Meredith. At number 40, Broncos, I have them taking Will Hernandez. Their whole offensive line is not very good. Another guy who could go in the first round, I think, who just happened to fall because no one really needed a guard specifically, and some better players were just available. I like Will Hernandez a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if he went in even the top 20, but he's going to fall here just a bit to the Raiders. or to the Broncos. At 41, I have the Raiders selecting Jair Alexander, the cornerback out of Louisville. I like Jair Alexander. The Raiders need corner. I think it works out. Not much else to say here. 42, the Dolphins taking Billy Price, another guy who could be a first rounder. He hurt himself though, which hurts his cause. Dolphins need offensive line help. I like this pick here. 43, the Patriots, another offensive lineman going here. I've been taking Martinez Rankin out of Mississippi State. Patriots need a left tackle now that they lost, what's his name, to the Giants. Oh, how is he slipping my mind? Let me figure this out real quick, sorry. Nate Solder. They lost Nate Solder to the Giants, and now Martinez Rankin is going to come in and fill in that left tackle spot. Patriots have been really good at building up that line with less, and Martinez Rankin is more than less in my opinion. The Redskins at 44, I have them taking Equanimeous St. Brown, a receiver who's unproven from Notre Dame just because he had to deal with a quarterback that wasn't much last year, but he still produced. I think he could be a first-round talent, but that's a big risk in the first round. But I like Equanimeous St. Brown a lot. I have him going 44 here to the Redskins. At number 45, I have the Packers selecting Justin Reed. Good safety. Packers need a lot of secondary help, especially because they just lost Morgan Burnett. He could fill in pretty nicely there. I think Justin Reed's going to be a good safety in the NFL. Cincinnati Bengals at 46. They are super happy here because James Daniels from Iowa, the center, has fallen to them. Daniels is the best center in the draft, but everyone needed a position either more or have a guard that they need or something. They just didn't have the reason to draft the center. Bengals pick him up at 46, so they don't even have a center on the team right now. At number 47, the Cardinals. This guy's fallen a lot too. I think he could be a first-round guy. Mike Gesicki out of Penn State, the first tight end off the board. More guys falling just because positional needs. Gesicki, he reminds me kind of Tyler Eifert light. He could be better than Tyler Eifert if he stays healthy. He's not the best blocker, but he can catch very well. So I like Mike Gesicki going to the Cardinals, who just need a lot of things. Another weapon for Sam Bradford to have. Their best tight end's Jermaine Gresham currently, I believe, who's getting older. At number 48, the Chargers, I have them selecting the linebacker Darius Leonard out of South Carolina State. Leonard has improved a lot. He's looked really good at South Carolina State. Adding him to the Chargers' front seven is going to be really scary. Could be one of the better front sevens in football next year. The Colts at 49, I have them selecting Carlton Davis. They lost Vontae Davis in the offseason. Another Davis corner, didn't really think of that. But they need another corner. Davis can fill in right there at 49. At number 50, the Cowboys have them selecting Harrison Smith, defensive tackle out of Stanford. I think defensive line, well, again, one of the most important positions in football. You need a pass rush or something to stop the run, and the front four is the best way to do that. Harrison Phillips is a tackle or defensive tackle I really like. I really like Stanford players coming to the NFL. Harrison Phillips here at 50. The Lions at 51. Didn't pull the trigger in the first round. They're going to do it in the second. They're going to select a running back, a Georgia one. They're going to select Nick Chubb, hoping they get the next Todd Gurley. Nick Chubb has had some injury history, but I think he's a really good back. Maybe even better than Sony Michel, who went earlier. But I like this pick here for the Giants at 51. The Ravens, I have them selecting Dallas Goedert, the tight end out of South Dakota State. Ravens need help on offense. I don't think they already took a wide receiver. They need a tight end who can stay healthy. They just can't keep those tight ends going. Will Crockett Gilmore be healthy? He's even on the roster right now. Not 100% sure. Will Max Williams be healthy? A lot of question marks at that Ravens tight end. Dallas Goedert should answer that question. No question. Bills at number 53. I have them selecting Anthony Miller, wide receiver out of Memphis. The Bills' only wide receiver currently who I like is Kelvin Benjamin. Other than that, Zay Jones he's getting help. I don't know what's going on with Zay Jones currently, but I'm gonna assume he's not playing with that incident that happened. Other than that, they got a bunch of nobodies playing receiver. Anthony Miller's not a nobody. He can come in there and he can get a lot of snaps. Number 54, Kansas City Chiefs. This is their first pick in the draft. I have them selecting Arden Key, an edge rusher out of LSU. He was looked at maybe the first overall pick earlier before the season started. He's fallen a little bit. I still like Arden Key. I have him in the second. He doesn't have that many character issues. I don't see why he's dropping that much besides his production fell. He's the most talented guy available at this point. Chiefs need edge rush, a guy who could play linebacker or defensive end. I think Arden Key fills in nicely, kind of like Sam Hubbard will do for the Saints I mocked earlier. The Panthers, I'm selecting guard/center Austin Corbett. I think this guy's going to plug in to Andrew Norwell's position. Now that he left, I'm not sure on the top of my head who the Panthers' starting center is, which is also a problem if I couldn't tell you. So Panthers add another interior offensive lineman to help block for Cam, who has taken way too many hits in his times with the Panthers. Bills pick again here at number 56. I have him selecting Malik Jefferson, the linebacker out of Texas. Malik Jefferson has fallen a bit just because some really good linebackers have showed up. Darius Leonard, Leighton Vander Esch, Rashaan Evans, all guys who have risen a lot. Malik Jefferson still a good linebacker. I'm not scared of any of the questions they have about him. I think he'll plug in, get a lot of tackles for Buffalo now that Preston Brown's gone. The Titans, more help rushing the passer. They do not have a good pass rush. Jarrell Casey's the only good one. I have them taking Duke Ejiofor out of Wake Forest, I believe, where he's from. That's correct. He's a good pass rusher. They need more of that. He'd probably go up to one of the linebacker positions in their 3-4 they run. I assume that's what Mike Vrabel is going to be running, a similar defensive scheme to what Dick LeBeau had run before. So he can plug it up there. I don't love the Titans linebackers, so Ejiofor, even if he doesn't start, he's definitely going to get some time. The Falcons, I have them selecting DJ Chark, the wide receiver out of LSU, pretty much replacing Taylor Gabriel. They have Julio Jones, they have Mohamed Sanu, but I like pretty much everything the Falcons have currently, and I had them selecting Mo Hurst earlier. So this is pretty much a luxury pick. Add another weapon to the team for Matt Ryan, because their running backs are set, their O-line set, Matt Ryan set, defense is looking good. This team's probably going to win the NFC South next year. Even that division is completely stacked with the Panthers and the Saints still doing things. At number 49, the 49ers, I have them selecting Jerome Baker, the linebacker out of Ohio State. I think they probably are going to slide another linebacker over and fill in the position that Reuben Foster played, the signal caller, now that he got arrested and could be facing up to 11 years in prison currently, I think is what it is. Jerome Baker can play the weak side. I don't know if they want a 3-4 or 4-3, but I think Baker can fit in nicely. He's a good pass coverage linebacker, got a lot of interceptions at Ohio State, but he can also rush the passer. I like him at 59 to the Niners. At 60, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I have them selecting Mason Rudolph, quarterback out of Oklahoma State. Mason Rudolph, or the Steelers need a backup quarterback. Josh Dobbs is not good, and Landry Jones is not good. Neither of those guys are even NFL caliber backups in my opinion, even though we haven't seen much of Josh Dobbs. He wasn't good at Tennessee. He's not good. He's not going to be great for the Steelers. They need an answer for if Big Ben goes down or when he goes down. He at least goes down once a year, usually, to something. Mason Rudolph is a good quarterback. I don't think he's going to go in the first round, like 12 overall or whatever, to the Bills like some people are thinking. But I think he can go in the second round for sure to Pittsburgh. At number 61, I have the Jaguars selecting Micah Kiser, a linebacker out of Virginia. I think the Jaguars, this is just basically a kind of a need pick. They lost Paul Posluszny to retirement, and they need more linebacker depth. Even though I think they're fine at linebacker, they need more depth. From a Bengals fan's perspective, 2 of their linebackers went down last year, and it was a complete mess at that position. They had to go to undrafted free agents to do a lot, so you can never have too much depth at that linebacker position. Micah Kiser from Virginia is a solid one. Jaguars take him at 61. 62, kind of a sleeper pick here. The Vikings are taking Anthony Averett, a corner out of Alabama. The Alabama corners, that secondary, they're always ready to come in and play well. Even some disappointing guys like Dre Kirkpatrick still play at a decent level. I think the Vikings really don't need him that much, but Trey Waynes has been kind of disappointing. They need corner depth. This team doesn't have that many holes, and Averett could help fill a small hole they have there. Number 63, I have the Patriots selecting Rasheem Green, a defensive lineman out of USC. The Patriots' pass rush was really bad, and that's why they lost the Super Bowl. They couldn't get to Nick Foles. So Rasheem Green here adds on to that, and they improve that pass rush a bit. And then finally, at 64, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Tim Settle, a defensive tackle. Where he's from slipped my mind real quick. Virginia Tech. He's from Virginia Tech. He's a good defensive tackle. I don't know if he'll be drafted in the second quite, but I think the Browns need a defensive tackle after they traded away Danny Shelton. Tim Settle's a similar player to Danny Shelton. I think he can plug in there nicely, and it would work out well. So that is the second round, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment, or have discussions down in the comments. I enjoyed it last time. I had a discussion with one guy about Josh Allen, and then another guy about what the Bears should select. And I agree with him. But I don't know what to do about the Giants, and that offset the entire draft there. But I do think the Bears should take Tremaine Edmonds, but then the rest of the draft offsets, and then you have to start from there. But that's what mock drafts are. I'm going off on some terrible tangent now, like I did at the beginning of the video. Let's stop it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow, maybe later today, with round 3 of the draft. Peace out. See you guys.